Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In the last video, we saw how we could implement sign in and sign out feature in a .NET application. Sign in and sign out using Microsoft's account, using a Microsoft account. In this video, we are going to be extending that .NET application. We are going to be adding authorization to it. So essentially what we did in the last video was we worked on the authentication aspect. So you are able to sign in and sign out using an authorized application, using the application object that we had in contra ID. So that's our Active Directory. So one thing I want to establish is that you might want to ask that in some of our previous videos, we have done some kind of authorization. So let me first establish what we want to do. So we are going to be granting our application access to a storage account. The storage account is also in Microsoft Azure. And this is something that we've done something similar in the past. However, in the past, what we did was we either used the connection string or what's it called? We generated some kind of credentials that we use to access our storage accounts. But over here, we are using OAuth, which is a more best practice approach to accessing classified data. So we are using OAuth basically. So let me share my screen. So before we start with Visual Studio, we need to do some setup in our Azure portal. I'll be sharing my screen. So we are still going to be using the same application object that we used in the last video. So I just need to open Active Directory, click on app registration, then you can see the application object that we used previously. So I click on this, I open the application object. Then what we need to do is to let this be open. Then we come over to API permissions because we are using the what's it called? Microsoft Graph, the Graph API. So I click on API permissions, and you can see this my account is not an admin account, so I can't even grant admin consent for everyone in my domain. So, and because this is a demo, it's fine. So because I'll be using only this my account to log into the .NET application. So what you need to do is you need to add permissions, and we are going to be adding user impersonation as well as so it's really the user impersonation that we need. This user read is usually created, it's usually there by default, I believe. So to add this user impersonation, which I already added, you click on add the permission, then you scroll down. Where did I even get this user impersonation? So I think it's under users. Where's that? Where's that? Can't even recall where I got this from. Okay, so I think let's see Graph API. So you click on delegated permissions because you can see the text here. Your application needs to access the API as the signed in user, which is what we want to do. The reason why in some of our last videos, we use this application permission because we are using Postman to have access to some kind of data. And you know, Postman was running as a backend client. So over here, we want to use delegated permissions. So I will scroll and look for users. Let me look for users. Yeah, so we have user with here. Okay, so let's get this user impersonation. So I can click on this and I'll see where it's from. Okay, for storage. So we need to click on it's under adjust storage, so not under users. So we look for storage, adjust storage. You can see how I got the API that was used. So it's under adjust storage, then you can find it here. So you click on delegated permissions and you'll be able to see what you need. Delegated permissions. Uh, okay, so let me come over here. Let me go back. Okay, so because I already added that, so I think that's why I'm no longer seeing the list, but I do not want to remove this, but it's part of adjust storage. You click on it and you get what you need to add. So you just come over to adjust storage. You click on it because it's a storage account we are working on, and you'll be able to add the API endpoints that you are interested in. I do not want to remove this. That's probably why I'm not seeing the option to search all the endpoints around this. Okay, so and I can remove this and re-add, but I do not want to do that. So what we'll be doing next is so we are good um with our application object. You also need to create a secret. So you come over to certificate and secrets, then you click on new client secret. So I needed to add a new client secret because I forgot the value for this one. So I added a new one over here. That's why we have so this was the secret I added to my application on Visual Studio. I'll be showing you where I added that. Yeah, so you now need to go to your storage account, which is already opened. I have just one storage account here. You click on it. You know, we are now using role-based access control, which is something that Microsoft recommends. So you come over to access control, you click on access control, then we want to add a role assignment. Come over here, click on add role assignment. There are two role assignments that you need to add. So the first one you need to add is reader and blog storage reader. So those are the two storage accounts that you need to add. I already added it. I think my it's still loading. So I added them reader and blob storage reader, and those storage account you need to assign your application object to them. So you can see if we should come over here, you can see this is my application object. I've added the reader role, and I've also added storage blob data reader to my application object as well. That's important for your application to work well. Once again, the reason why we are doing it this way, because what we want to do, we've done this same thing before, but when we were granted access to the storage account, what we used was connection string and access keys. So if I should come over here, we're using our connection strings, and we also used shared access signature. I think we used shared access signature in one of the tutorials. We use shared access signatures. Yeah, so those are the two means that we use, and we also use application object without using OAuth. But now we are using best practice approach. Okay, so we are going to Visual Studio now. So let me stop sharing. Yeah, I'm on my Visual Studio. This is the same code that we used in the last video. The only difference is just that we want to display the token that will be used to grant us access to the storage account is what we are going to be displaying in our application, and that's basically it. So after this, in the next video, we are going to see how we can use that token to be able to have access into the storage accounts. And the only modification that I added to this code from the one in the last video was I added a scope, and scope is what you use to determine the kind of resource that you want to gain access to. So you can see that the scope, the URL I'm using here is storage.azure.com/user impersonation, which is the same, what's it called? The same, let me go to my Azure so that I'll get the right word. The same API permission that we added to our application object, the same API permission under Azure storage. So that's basically it. So this is just the little edit that was made to this code. So you can see it over here. Then if I should go over to my startup, did I make any modification here? Yeah, so my startup, yeah, I also added the scope here. So it's just the scope that is the difference between this code and the one of that we used in the last video. Then also in my app setting.json, I added this client secret. This client secret, I copied it from the secrets that was created in the application object, the second secret. So that's what I just basically copied and added to this particular JSON file. Then my launch setting is still the same. Remember, under authentication, we already gave this endpoint localhost -48251 access under authentication in the application object. Then login remains the same, layout remains the same, but in the index page, this is where I display the access token. You can see access token is webbag.access token, which will display the access token that is being generated by OAuth in Microsoft Azure. So I don't want this video to be too long. I'll be running the program now, but before I run it, let me go and clear my what's it called, my cookies, so that I will be able to sign in again, because I already ran this program before I started this video. So let me just clear my cookies in the last 1 hour. That was under privacy. I know you are not seeing my screen now, but you are still in the Visual Studio. Clear browsing data. Last hour, let me clear in the last hour so that I will need to sign in again. So I've done that. So I'm running the program now. I hope you can still see my screen. So let me stop sharing first before I run the program. So I'm running the program now. It's very heavy, so it can take like 2 minutes before it will run. It's running, it's running, it's running. So as usual, as I said earlier, we are implementing, we've implemented sign in and sign out in a .NET app using a Microsoft account. We are now authorizing that feature we want to grant access to resource. That's basically what this program is doing. It's still running, it's still running, still running. That's something about Visual Studio. It's always very heavy. Still running. And my computer too, I've not restarted it in a while. So many processes are running in the background. So what we want to do is hopefully we would see the token that will be generated by OAuth. It's still running. It's finally done running. So let me share my screen now. Oh, I'm seeing an error. That's strange. Okay, so let me try this again. Yeah, so now let me run it one more time. Hopefully it works now. Okay, so I'm running it now. No account to login into spouse to the acquired token silent call. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so what I would do is I would so this is about the cookies. I would use a private browser for this. Let me run it one more time and I know what I will do. I'll use Mozilla for this and hopefully it will work well. Let me run it again. Okay, so let me just copy the URL. I'll go to another browser. We'll use a private incognito mode. I will open my browser in incognito mode. Yeah, it does work now. So let me share my screen. So it's because of I already signed in like twice and I wasn't meant to, it's because of my cookie issue, but now it's working well. So I am clearing my screen now. You can see I'm in incognito mode now and it's working well. So I'm entering my email. So that's info@trainingites.net. So let me fetch my password. Remember, our aim is to be able to get the access token. So I'm signing in now. So I'm entering my password. And it's signing me in. Oh, I need to get my authenticator. Yeah, my authenticator is coming up. 83. Yes, it's me. Yeah, so I've authenticator is working. It's taking some time to reflect. The ninth. Did I deny it? No, I didn't. Okay, so let's see this. 070020. Verify. So I'm trying to sign in with my Microsoft account now. So let me close this. Let me share. So this is just key issue. Just give me a moment. Okay, so I'm clearing the browsing data in the last 24 hours now. Hopefully, this should actually fix the issue. So I've cleared for the last 24 hours. I would run it again. Yeah, it's working now. So now let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Let me get my authentication app ready first. Then before entering my email, let me get my password ready. Enter my password. Try to sign in. It's I keep getting being denied. Um, Let me use this. Yeah, I'm finally in. That was strange. Yeah, so this is what we need. So this is the access token. Finally, I don't know what was happening to my authenticator app. It has nothing to do with the application or the workflow. But it's good that at least it shows you the flow on how the various options you can work with when you are having issues authenticating your Microsoft account. But you can see the access token being displayed clearly. So it's this access token that we are now going to use to be authorized into our storage account. So we are going to, in our next video, you are going to see how you can use this access token to get access to resources, containers in the storage account. Okay, if you find this video informative, don't hesitate to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a nice day.